Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is the face of evil and apparently confusion. This one here is Jessie Lee Peterson. Now, if you don't know who Jessie is, let me give you some input. See, Jeffrey Lee Peterson is a far right wing anti gay pastor. And it is apparent that even though he claims to be against certain lifestyles, the homosexual lifestyle, he's spoken out vehemently against. It's apparently that he had some secret shenanigans going on. That, there's a saying that what is done in the dark will come to light. And this has come to light. Men have come forward and have made claims that they have been victims of Mr. Peterson. And I say victims because he was in a position of authority and power. See, he had a movement, I would say, or this little thing going on called Bond, where he would help men with issues, with problems, with life. And apparently they would stay at a compound with Jessie. You know what? I found that to be very strange. Number one, you only had men there at that particular compound. But Jeffrey's story goes like this. He is not only against the LGBT community, he is also against the Black Lives Matter community. See, he has made some outrageous claims, really, such as racism doesn't exist, that any woman who climaxes becomes a man. It's not normal for women to do that. And basically, he has championed the far right wing. And here's the thing now. The very far right wing which he has championed, it has come around that they're canceling appearances by him and they are distancing themselves from him. But before I go on, I want you to hear and listen as to how Mr. Peterson feels about certain issues.
The spirit of homosexuality is of their father, the devil. It's not them, the person. It's the spirit that made a home in them. And it came from them overreacting to some sort of a situation in life, whether it's from someone messing with them when they were kids, or overreacting to an angry mother, because you become like what you hate.
But shortly after the March interview, friends of his came to us with a different story. These stories first came to light when Jessie's former co-host and alleged decade-long gay lover exposed him. 61-year-old Patrick Rooney has known Jessie for nearly 30 years, dating back to roughly 1992.
Everybody know Patrick Rooney, one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven.
The two were so close that Jessie was the minister at his wedding and the pastor at his baptism, long before Rooney claimed any homosexual activities began.
Right around that time, I also had started a...
Okay, so you heard that. So Jessie had a decade, well, I should say allegedly, a decade-long homosexual liaison. So with this man right here, this has been going on for a very long time. And let me just tell you one thing. It does not surprise me. Because I had oftentimes looked at him and I thought to myself, he looks gay. He looks kind of suspect. But I guess all of his right-wing talk kind of threw me off. All of his anti-gay speak, even anti-lesbian. Don't forget that he called the founders of Black Lives Matters fat black lesbians. And so this man right here is indicative of people of who speaks the loudest have the most to hide. So apparently, way in his 70s, and he's still hiding in the closet, afraid to come out, ashamed to come out. And I don't feel bad about, exposing someone like this or helping to expose someone like him because he made a monopoly pretty much. And he's been monetized by hate speech. He's been monetized by speaking down and disparagingly against the LGBT community. He's been monetized by speaking disparagingly against Black Lives Matter, against black people, against the black community, denying the existence of racism. So it's not surprisingly that his day would come. Usually that does happen. But a group of men, white men at that, the type that he likes, turned against him. And bravo to that. I'm very glad that he's being exposed. And by the way, if you want to give an idea or have an idea as to what he thinks about keeping things in private and secret, listen to this interview where he's going to ask a man, why would you expose
men, and she does too with other men. Why put that out there like that? Why did you tell anyone that?
I'm pretty open with everything that I do, and I think that people should be more comfortable with the things they do. So rather than keep things kind of hidden and pretend that I live a very traditional lifestyle, I like to talk about the non-traditional things.
And so is your church a homosexual church or something?
No, we're not a homosexual.
So Jesse's the type who likes to keep things secret. And of course he would. He's not going to have his money train or money mill affected by him being a big hypocrite. His hypocrisy goes a long way, and it's extremely dangerous because what he speaks, people can't act on that. And he's putting lives at risk. And I'm very glad that this whole manosphere thing, which he claims to be a part of, has found out as to his true nature, what he really is, what he's about, and what he has been about. He's basically a big hypocrite. Basically doing the very things in which he condemns and says is a sin and is of the devil. Well, he must be of the devil because he's doing the devil's work. So, this whole thing is kind of like some tragedy to it, but kind of hilarious too, though, because, look who it's exposing. It's very virulent anti-homosexual pastor who turns out to be the very thing in which he condemns. Boy, it does not get any better than that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Sin Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.